today. I know I am because I am super excited to continue work on this. So, from last time, you're going to notice a lot of changes that have happened. So, I've done many hours of off-camera work because the structural integrity of this thing was basically a massive question mark, and I've been trying to rectify that. So, somehow I've managed to get the warp class from 0.03 to 1.72, and it's required a lot of very, very awkward like bolts and things. So like panels like this, like that, just a lot of really weird stuff. And when I did that, I kind of needed to put some of the stuff in to the ship just so that I could check if it worked. And so it works, and the back part is pretty solid and it's got some nice bits to it. So you can walk around completely back here, no issue. And this will be the midsection, so walking room is perfect here. And then so it's you're able to maintain everything very easily. You can go prone and walk around in here, and that's all nice. And then you also have like I'm just going to leave that part open and it's going to be kind of a hatch and you can go in and maintain everything from here. So this is going to be a real engineering section. So that's going to be pretty useful, I think, once this flies. But speaking of flight, so right now it's pretty big. And so the biggest ship in the game that can fly is the Ithaca 2, sorry, Ithaca 4, and that's barely at the limit. So we have this back section and this little part of the mid section right here, and it's in this state. And our voxel volume is already at 168 million out of 800 million. So chances are, with the way this is looking, this will not fly in Starbase until the voxel volume and other things are increased. So that's kind of what we're running with right now. And it's already like, let's see, oh, it's already at a cool 12.6 million. So that's another handy thing. But so what we're going to try to do today is we are going to try and kind of mold the front section. So in the Nebulon-B, you have that really like the bow, like that bulbous bow. And so what we're going to try and do today is we're going to try and make that. And it's going to be interesting how we figure that out because, well, it's an odd shape. So I'm just going to have like the Nebulon-B pulled up on the side and on my second monitor, and we're going to check things out. Oh, and so these right down here, these were other midsection designs I had. So this is the one we went with, except it's rotated 90 degrees for structural reasons. But then this one, which these are the same, just without that reinforcement right there. And then this, if structural integrity weren't really an issue, I would totally be using this because this is a really fun, in my opinion, midsection that you'd like to walk through, and we could put like glass in that and stuff. But so we're just gonna shuffle this to the back, and there's probably gonna be a lot of moving this around because this workspace is really cluttered right now. So we're gonna be changing a lot of things. Um, but so I think we'll kind of just get started with figuring out what we want to do at the front. So what I kind of want to do to start off with is I want to copy, so this midsection, the midsection pieces, I want to copy these a little bit forward. That way we have more of a interior structure to go off of, which will be really handy when we're putting everything together. So we're just going to move it forward like 2 sections. That seems reasonable. And from there, we will, I'll just press auto bolt. And I'm so happy that now this is actually somewhat structural, like structurally sound. It's surprising, but you know, it's nice. So let's see. So I'm gonna pull up the Nebulon-B, and so we're gonna look at it. So after this part, the midsection, it kind of starts to form out into like a bow, like a bulbous bow sort of thing. That's how I like to describe it because that's kind of what it is. Um, so we're gonna try and as like naturally as possible kind of create that. So at the back, it's more of like a gentle slope. So I suppose we could use like maybe like a 30-degree angle or something. That's a plate. We do not want a plate. Um, Something like this and kind of have the back slope up. Uh, like oh, snapping. Kind of have something like this and then have everything slope up from there. Um, I think that would be a reasonable like rear part of the I don't really want to know what I want to call it, like the forward portion of the bridge. Yeah, this is gonna be big. This is probably about 2/3, um, somewhere between a half to 2/3 of the actual length of the ship. It's definitely not gonna work in Starbase right now, just because of its size limitations. We're getting really big. Um, so it's at least just gonna be cool to look at for now. But so what we want to do is we kind of want to expand this out, like rounded like this, and rounded above as well. So I think actually the 30 degrees are kind of one of the best things for that. Just, you know, just because they're 30 degrees, so it's not exactly a 90-degree angle. But I was also thinking I could use something like uh, right degree angles, like 90-degree angles. Do something like that to bring it out. But we'll kind of just see where this takes us. There's going to be a lot of revisions to this. I'm probably going to be working a lot off camera on this because there's just a lot of mind-numbing things that went into this. Like I was bolting for hours yesterday just making this work. So let's see. Okay, we'll just take these 190. Oh, I did not mean to delete that. We'll just take these 192 beams and we'll kind of see what happens with the snapping. So about like that. Okay, this could work. This could work. Yeah. So right now we just want to get that like forward bulkhead done, and then we can focus on the lower portions of the ship later. But I kind of want to get just the general look of this down for the interior, because the outside we can mold that fairly easy, but the inside is going to be much more difficult to do. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to take um, some intersection beams, probably. Hmm, I think these 5 directions would work, um, so that the outside would be easier to do later on, and we can expand depending on how we need it. But then, so we'll just do this. And then, so looking at the Nebulon-B, so I have like a thing open in the background. Looking at the Nebulon-B, um, the front section looks to be about as wide as the back, or even a little bit skinnier. Um, yeah, I think the front is actually a little bit skinnier than the back, so we may just kind of leave it like that, like the open it up to about that much. So what I think I could do here though is kind of make like a wave effect. So that's really the best I can describe it right now, but what I'll try and show it to you. So we'll take these 30 degrees, and so we want to create kind of a straight part. So like it isn't just like this diagonal here isn't just like a flat platform. We want to add some I kind of call it pre-texture to it so it looks a little bit better. Um, so like something like this that breaks up the monotony of the surface, like the beams, something like that. And then we can add in the texture later. But let's see, because I want to get this as close as possible. So it really seems like we could do like a 45-degree angle instead of these 30 degrees and bring it out a good chunk. But our limiting factor right now is just don't make it as wide as the engine section. So we could pull it out using like a 45-degree angle, like right here, and then turn it into a 30-degree angle and then make it flat. We'll we'll try that on the other side and then we can compare and see which is better. So what we want to do is we will take one of the is it corn? No, it's angled beams. Yeah, I think the 96 is, yeah, I like the 96. That's what I usually go with. Um, so we'll take that, and that's definitely a 45-degree angle. So what we'll do is we'll just put both of these on, and that one's hot, right? And then so how I did over here, where I have the 90 degrees right there, we're gonna do the same thing over here, and then we'll just put actually, when we're doing that, I want to move these down like right there and up in correspondence. That way it'll be when we put these straight beams here, it'll be a little bit more of a solid approach. I don't know how to say that really, but more backed, I guess. So then we'll do the same thing here. If snapping decides to not freak out. You know, it's okay if we just have the one. That's... Oh boy, come on. You know you want to snap. Okay, let's just disable snapping, because it doesn't want to snap. What are you running into? That. Okay, so just gonna get this about right. It sucks it can't really be the same as this. This, yeah, it's overhanging a little actually, so I'm gonna move this out to reflect that. Yeah. Okay, those look about the same. And then so we'll have this 45-degree angle coming out like that, and we will take one of these. We'll turn it around and we'll do the same thing. And then we'll just kind of go from there, see how it looks. We'll extend it out one more section, and then we will add on that 30-degree angle. So, okay. So now here's what I'm thinking. So if we put like a 30-degree turn on this, so if we take something like this, here, let me just, I figure I can talk through it, but I can also show it. So if we do something like this, then that leaves about 15 degrees right there. So we're gonna have to figure out a way to get that back to 0. So I'm just gonna stick these on for now, except using the vertex snap, because that's a little bit better, except it doesn't vertex snap because they're different things. So I'm actually gonna align this based on that. Okay, so now what I'm seeing, so since these were the same distance apart, that allows me to correct this. So now those should be perfectly aligned, so that'll help. All right. Oh, unless it doesn't. Okay. We'll just do them one at a time. That'll be fine. All right. Okay. And then so kind of like that. And then we want to turn it back into, so I'm calling like this straightforward is 0 degrees. So I want to get it back to 0 degrees. So we don't really have a 15 like degree platform. So what I'm thinking we could do is, so I have this portion, I have like this midsection here. If we duplicate this a couple times, what we could do is we could use this and just kind of uh, go a bit wild with the oh, yep, there we go. So like how I did in the engine section of the ship, and kind of go a little bit crazy and do some really wonky attachment plating. So like it's about there. So since I'm really going for more looks on this ship, we're gonna see what I can do. So those are aligned there. So if we take, I want to use a four-way intersection right here. That's flat, not that, this. I just like adding stuff like that in because it gives, so later on, if we want to add in more connection points, then it's just super easy. We don't really have to do much to put more things in there. So then we're going to start doing smaller denominations of beams uh, since we're getting closer, so there's no real need for a big beam. Um, let's try 48. That may fit. Except I do not want it to snap there. I want it to snap there. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to, I want to select like this. So we want to make it about there. And then what we'll do is we'll take this. So this is going to be jerry-rigged, but we'll take this, put it there. Yeah, that lines up really well actually. Um, and then, so then we'd have our forward section. So we'd take like this. And then from the outside, you never know that it's kind of built like this, but on the inside, you definitely know. So we're gonna take one of you, there we are. And so as we love horrific attachment plate connections, something like that, would this work? Okay. Then if we auto bolt this, will it throw off like tons of errors or not? Okay, so it does throw off errors, but that's because 30-degree angles can't really be manually bolted, as well as since this is here, this creates an interesting issue where you can't actually sufficiently bolt like this. So that's the thing I'll have to fix, but it's possible. It'll just take time. Um, so I think that's more of the, I like this. So looking at the Nebulon-B, that looks like a really nice forward section. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take this and we're going to do one of the classic things. Well, actually, it's going to be much more difficult when we're putting this on the other side just due to, well, how it looks. So we're going to put that there, and then I'll bolt this because auto bolt, even though I have a attachment plate down, auto bolt will not do that. And then we'll take out this side if I can select. All right. And then so we're gonna just have to take this part and we're gonna manually do this part. It's just a little wonky like that. Move it down. I believe it's 24 centimeters. And then no, I do not want bolt. I want this. Ah, I see. So it's starting to get wonky. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do this. We're gonna take this portion over here and we're gonna STARBASE mirror. which I'm sure you all are familiar with the STARBASE mirror, which is just literally copy and pasting. And then, so, is that lined up? No. Now it is. Okay. And then, so what we'll do, so building like outwards is kind of going to be difficult. So let's see. So if I just copy, if I delete this, because I want to get this right, but I'm not sure if it will be very easy. Um, so I'm gonna take this, we'll flip it as we do. Will it, okay, I think I'm gonna have to disable snapping. Yeah. So we're gonna have to get this as close as possible to the other side without messing things up. Ooh, a challenge. Because we want this to be as symmetrical as possible. That'll just prevent a lot of issues in the future, like if things don't line up properly, because uh, things are already not lining up properly. So I'm going to highlight all this, and we'll bring it, I forgot to disable snapping. All right, bring it down to where it just about contacts that, and then we'll compare sides basically. So we want to pull it out more. So it almost completely overlaps that portion. So we'll want to bring it like this, kind of. How's that? Hmm. That looks about right. It's overlapping a little bit. Yep. It's got the little triangle there, and then that's on the inside, just about there. Yeah. Okay, so that looks roughly the same. Uh, Luckily, the front portion will actually just be determined by these 90-degree, the angles there. So that's pretty simple to fix. So what we're gonna do is take that out, and then we'll just do the same thing, but on the bottom, and hopefully get the same results. So we're gonna, I realize I don't have the music running. That's, da, da, da. Now it's space time. Okay, so we'll check out how this is looking over here. So there's the same like lip right there, kind of like that, but we want to move it so that this is there's barely a triangle like right there. So a little bit out. So I actually want to move this so it's not lined up with theirs. So I think moving like that. Okay, that looks just about the same. So we'll say that's good. And then we'll see, does it at least generally line up here? I need to zoom out. Okay, yeah, that looks about fine. So then we'll take an attachment plate and we'll connect them up. I'm not going to do a lot of the attachments right now, just because it's boring, frankly. So we're just going to do that real quick. Just because as a placeholder, just to have it hold together. There we go. Okay, so that's kind of like the back portion. Now what we kind of want to do is we kind of want, so as I said, like the Nebulon-B, it's kind of bulbous. So we want to build like kind of like that, like an upwards, like a slight slope that again goes into that straight portion. But so what we're going to do is, because we need more room for that bow, we have to move the entire ship back. So what we're going to do is we're going to zoom in, and I still have auto bolt selected. We are going to take these out, and that's of no consequence really right now. And we're going to select everything, and we're going to save before we select anything. And then we're going to just shuffle the entire thing backwards to give us that just extra bit of space. And of course it's really laggy, but that's to be expected. Okay. And then we'll save it there real quick. Nope, that is... Alright. So, on the Nebulon-B, the portion of the ship that comes up here just goes slightly above where the engine compartment is. So what we'll do is, I think we want to use the 30-degree angles for this. So it looks like there's a slight rise here, and then it flattens out, and then it goes into a more abrupt rise, and then kind of has that. Yeah, I'm just going to try and model this. Just so that we can... And based on what we do today and what we don't finish, I'm probably going to do a lot more off camera. But because there's just so much, I think that's the only way I'll be able to really do this well. Plus also, this is a passion project, and I really like how this is kind of starting to turn out, if at least the back section. And we're just going to use vertex snapping because vertex-y reasons. I forgot to do that. Hold on, let me... Okay, there we go. Alright, so I've got just that little kind of lip there. That's way too much. I am going to take these out, and I'm going to put in instead, let's do like a 72. Yeah, 72 would work. So we don't want it to be that big, because I kind of want to get this as close as possible to a Nebulon-B, so that if something's off later, I don't have to do as much rework. So we're going to take this, bop, right there, and then we'll flatten it out for a bit. So we'll take, honestly, a 96 may be too abrupt too. Let's see. Actually, yeah, let's go with the 96 beam here. Flatten it out just for a little bit. And then after this, we take it up at a 45-degree angle. So we're going to do this thing again, which again is kind of a horrendous way for doing 45-degree angles, but it's really kind of the only way. The good thing about it though is, so once we establish the angle, what we can do is we can actually just remove it completely. It doesn't need to be there. Like, you can put in wonky attachment plates, like down here. I've done wonky attachment plates. Oh, and thank you for the follow. And welcome to the chat. But so, I don't know how this is going to work properly. I think I may just want to do another 30-degree angle here to make this slope a little bit easier. Because we have this like, I don't know what to call it other than a resting point. Then we'll use the 192s because this portion is much more significant a rise. So we're just gonna back up. Try and get on the same level. So yeah, this 192 beam will suffice. And then what we'll do is we'll bring it up maybe a little bit more. Like we could put a 48 centimeter beam in there. That should elevate this enough. And just keep in mind, like this core area, like right here, this is probably going to be changed and taken out because just it's really chunky and we lose out on a lot of space having it here. So we're going to try and distribute the weight as much as possible, as soon as possible. So then we'll take this back down to a flat. Flat angle. And then, let's see. So we'll build out straight for a little bit. Just kind of like this. And then we'll do the 5-way intersections again. They're kind of my favorite just because of, you know, you can connect a lot of stuff to them, but you can also make it so that they are, how do I say this, interior facing only, so that they're not outwardly. Yeah, I am in a faction. So I'm in a faction called Save Our Ships. If you're not familiar with them, I can explain them to you. Well, actually, I lead the faction, so, and we call ourselves a non-profit, so. But yeah, right now I'm kind of just building. So, I am currently building a Nebulon-B frigate from Star Wars. So, trying to just get the general shape down. And yeah, I am a part of Project Atlas. So I haven't been able to contribute much time, sadly, but I'm I have to learn a lot to actually be in there. So, and then it looks like what we're gonna do here is we're gonna take this same elevation, and then we are gonna get rid of it over here. And also, guys, if you say something in chat, it may take me a second to respond to it because I'm switching between chat and the Nebulon-B schematics on my other screen. So just be wary if I don't reply, that's why. But so this doesn't look as organic as I'd like it, but that's because we really don't have access to the most organic angles. So we're gonna figure out how to make this. I think with the plating, that's how we're gonna use it. So like the plating is how we're gonna round this out, because right now it's not rounded out at all, but so we'll see what we can do. And then this part starts to become flat again, so we'll just continue with this. And then we're gonna have to be mindful of this front area. So let's see. This is a very long portion of the ship, so it's a little bit janky. But we're just gonna take this and we are going to kind of just use it almost to the front of the ship. And let's see. Yeah, we're definitely not going to be able to spawn this in the Starbase universe for a while. But so then the front of the frigate, it really drastically kind of turns into the bulbous bow thing. So I think we're going to have to use 45-degree angles with it. So that's going to be interesting. But so I guess what we can do is we can just make this kind of this outside area. Let's just, oh, that's the wrong selection. We want to use this. And then so this on a Nebulon-B isn't actually like a flat surface, but so what we'll do instead uh, to make it, not flat, is we'll use the plating. So the plating is going to be our savior in a lot of accuracy areas, but right now we just really want to get that general shape down. So we'll do this. And then I'm going to stop a little bit before where this stops, so maybe one more section of this. Yeah, about there, because this starts to curve in. I think we may want to actually do this, because this is supposed to be like a kind of gentle sloping curve. So I think that's what we're gonna do. Yeah, because this whole area out here is going to be curved. It's just right now with the plating, that's not really how it's gonna happen. Um, so let's see. Actually, just out of interest, I'm gonna see how tall this is to an endo after the auto bolt does its magic. So like, this isn't actually going to be where the bridge is, but if you were to be here, this is how kind of tall it would be. So that's actually, I kind of like to fly around to see how big everything will be. So this theoretically up to about here, like in this area, this should be like an open space. I have given a good portion of thought to what is going to go in everywhere, and I think up in here is going to be where the generators are. So what we'll do though is we'll take this side and we'll copy and paste it to the other side. Right there. Is that still aligned? That is not. Alright, there we go. And then so this area, this is supposed to be like a gentle slope into the, so I think, okay, now this goes against my better judgment. Not that I have better judgment or anything, but we're gonna do kind of something like this. We are going to manually kind of put these next to each other, get them on the same 2D plane, and then I disable snapping. Then we're gonna do something like that, and then this should present us with that gentle sloping shape. And of course, well, not necessarily of course, but it's going to get a little bit sharper as we start to approach the front. So we're gonna gotta remember to move it only on that like 2D plane. So we'll still be able to connect these. The auto bolt tool will not be able to do this. So I'm gonna have to go back later and do all of this. But so this will start to provide like just a relatively simple framework. So out here, what's going to be happening is this area is going to be rounded. So I haven't really done like the bottom of the bow, but so this area is going to be rounded off. So not quite sure how this will correspond with it, but it'll be something. I think what I'm going to do though is I'm going to see if there's a part that will snap like with this. That way when I copy and paste it to different areas, like I can just rely on snapping this piece in, and then all of these other ones will be correct. So like if I do this, yeah, so that way it's perfectly the same shape. Um, let's see. How do I want to do this? So I can also just like kind of like I'll do this. I'll have this like front bow area, the shape like generally down like it is now. But what I'll do is I can come back like after this session and fix it all up, like make it a little bit better. Because I think just having to suffer through it is a little rough. So that looks about right. So we'll just delete these. They aren't necessary. They were just there as guidelines. But that looks reasonable. So yeah. So that looks like we're gonna have to, of course, put some more stuff along here to make this. It's supposed to be rounded all the way around, but that looks pretty good for a, I mean, for a ship. It won't look exact to detail, of course, but so from here, what we've got to do, the Nebulon-B, the front part is kind of like a wing. So what we're gonna do is we are going to take like where the wing is, and then we're gonna move it downwards, like the center of the wing. So it looks like the center, kind of, what we're gonna do is we're gonna have it about here. Yeah. So the center will be about here, and then what we'll do is we'll take something like this. We'll we'll just copy and paste a section of this again as an example. I will most likely be changing this later. Um, but so we need kind of like a way to get up and down, transportation, all that. So what we're gonna do actually is we're gonna move this. We're gonna have it at this angle. And we are going to put it right there. So this would be where I'm actually going to grab that selection again and move it over here. But so this would be where that like center of the ship will be and where we'll mast off. Like on the Nebulon-B, there are sections that come like down off of this wing. So we want to make sure that we want to have a strong core. Because of course with this, the structural integrity woes are going to be insane. So we're just gonna kind of build this down, and this will maintain about the same width all the way down. We'll see how the structural integrity works out if I can modify it, but should remain about the same. Kind of think of it as like an elevator shaft, which is really what its purpose is right now. Um, but I think to about here is a good spot. This last one, and then we'd have the bottom floor here. Question of the day, will it bolt? Yes, and I'm gonna save because that was a little bit worrying. And let's see if we're already going over any of the limits. Okay, so we're not going over any of the limits yet, but we're definitely going to be going over attachment plates at least. Bolts, maybe. Cables and pipes, fairly reasonable. Um, Objects, almost definitely. Voxel volume, 100%. So basically this ship, we're not going to be able to build it. Well, we will be able to build it, but it won't move for a long time, most likely. But seeing as it's just a for fun project. But so I'm gonna see, so these are 192 beams, so that means an endoskeleton is like the perfect height. So I think, are any of you guys familiar with how tall an endoskeleton is? I kind of forget. But I think basically a 192 beam is how, yeah. Because if there's a 12 centimeter plate on the bottom and the top, I can still fit. So 192 centimeters is how big an endoskeleton is. So with that, we can determine off of this. So we have this big open area here, and then we will be able to have 1, two, three, four, five other decks that we can use. And then so at the bottom, we'll have more thrusters, and it won't really be accessible, but it'll also have weapons. And I think this will be about roughly the same dimensions as the Nebulon-B. So now what we really got to do is on the Nebulon-B, there's a lot of like jutouts here. It's going to kind of look like this. So that's kind of what we're going to do. So it gets massively skinnier. So like we're going to move this out a bit. So something along the lines of, well, that doesn't work too well. Let's see. Huh. So it would be about here, I think, and then it'll slowly decrease in girth as we go. So I'm just gonna plop this in here, and then we'll start using this as our guideline. As for the width of the different decks, did I accidentally hit Shift C? No. So we'll do something like that, and then the front, it starts like drastically moving back. So we're gonna have to create kind of an effect where the different layers seem like they're different modules, but they're not going to be. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna kind of have, I want to call it like two deck systems. We may just have four decks and instead have like taller ceilings and stuff for each one. That would probably work better, especially with, the limited space we have. So we're just gonna kind of go with that. But so right below, the Nebulon-B drastically decreases in length. So I think this is where we'll kind of start our turn here. So we'll take this and we'll turn it around. And we'll put it right there. It's up higher where it's supposed to be. Come on. Okay, vertex snapping, save me. Right there. Alright. So, let's see. And then, so what we'll do is we'll just make like a rough, we'll just use 45-degree angles. That seems like the best way about going about this. So we'll take the 96s because I prefer those to the other angled beams. They just seem better. So what we're going to do is we're going to do something like this. And then what we're actually going to do is we're going to take a corner beam of 24 centimeters. So it's basically just a square. And we'll do this. We'll just copy that. And do like that. And then we'll select these and do it on the other side. Nice and easy. And that is generally going to be what we're looking for. Of course, the curse of the snap. So we're just going to bop and bop. And then we'll just make this flat. We'll just take these off and we'll do like, I don't know, 192 may actually fit in there. If it doesn't, we'll just take smaller beams. Okay, it doesn't, we'll take smaller beams. So I think a 96 and a 72 would fit perfectly. Unless it doesn't, because that looks shorter. Yeah, this is a 48. Alright, there we go. Okay. Alright. So we're gonna have to bolt that on. And then what we'll kind of do is, so we may actually want to move this down a little bit. So how the Nebulon-B looks is, each segment is kind of separated from each other. So we can take this whole section right here. I'm gonna try and select it just bit by bit and move it down a little bit. That way we kind of get a better look. We may actually want to just leave this in place just because it fits perfectly, and then we'll copy and paste and we'll move it downwards a bit. And so when we actually put this in though, actually we'll have it snap right on, and then we'll move it vertically. There we go. So what we'll do in uh, once we kind of start building is we'll make it seem like this isn't connected here. So we'll kind of like put plates right up next to each other and leave like maybe a 12 centimeter gap here to make it seem like they're different sections. And then we'll kind of just work our way down. So the back though is much shorter than what the front is. So the front is, I'm kind of putting this in air quotes, the front is longer, um, and the back is much shorter, though what I'm looking at is we're actually probably going to have to just go with, this is actually probably going to have to be further out. This is going to be an interesting dilemma. I'm not quite sure how to go about it. Right now, at least, I'll probably do some stuff off camera to try and figure that out. Um, but for now, we'll just do the back real quick. So, um, on the Nebulon-B, let's see. So the back looks way more abrupt, and of course, as I said so many times, it's shorter. So I'm thinking we can just do like a flat connection back here, and then it would suffer nothing really. So we'll just put in those 192 beams back here, and we'll see what shakes out. I think, yep, okay. So there's one. There is another. And then we'll just put like a 96 in here and see what else we need. Looks like we might need a 48. So we'll just find that. And it looks like I was right, I think. Hopefully. And I was. Okay, cool. So that'll be like the back section. And then, so how this would go is each ring, so it would kind of decrease like this. Each ring gets a little bit shorter and shorter. Well, not on all of the Nebulon-Bs. So there's a lot of different like designs for Nebulon-Bs that I'm seeing out there, but we can make them all, it's looking like about the same, uh, what's it called? I don't know, but like we can all make them roughly the same distance out from this core. So we'll try and do that. That should be all right. But we're gonna move this forward down there. So the thing is, so this is gonna all accumulate into, like, we have all the space for a bow right here. So that's gonna be able to go out much further. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna move this further out as well in coordination with that, because all of these lower decks, like, we can put a lot more stuff in them that way, because we might want to put in a hangar bay potentially, because Nebulon-Bs in the Star Wars universe, they sometimes had hangar bays. So we'll see if we can implement that, because that would be a really handy thing. And then let's see, we'll still need the bridge, and then I think we should put in like a storeroom or something, something to provide extra space. But so we'll then do this. That was not enough space, I don't think. Yeah, no, it wasn't. We'll just move it out as much as necessary, then pop this in. And then if this isn't the right size later on, we can revise it. But so that'll be like bulbous like this, even if it's like that, then we can still have the like separation here that we'll need for it to look quote unquote authentic. So what we can do is we can take this thing and we'll select it all. And then what we can do is we will just copy and paste it down. So we'll adjust it for every single level. Like um, we'll take like a little bit off the front, stuff like that. Um, but we want it to generally be the same vertical size. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do about like that. So we want it to have so that an endoskeleton can walk underneath. So like right here, an endoskeleton is able to walk in between the levels, which is what we're looking for. So that way, if we put like plating on and stuff, you'd still be able to walk around. Okay, this looks, yeah, that looks pretty good. So we're just gonna do this a couple more times, and then we'll get to adjusting. So what I'm really doing is I'm just vertex snapping it like that, and then I'm gonna move it down about like that. What we could do is we could put a 192 beam, so the height of an endo in between them, just to make sure that they're perfectly spaced. But also what I want to do is I want to make sure, okay, so actually that's a solid idea. So we'll have the 192 beam there so that it's spaced properly so that an endoskeleton can fit in a deck. Then what we'll do is we will take like, I don't know, what would be a good size? Maybe a 48 centimeter beam. Yeah, a 48 centimeter beam would be practically perfect. So we'll take a 48 centimeter beam. And then so the reason I'm taking this and putting it here is because in between each like section of the ship, you need to have the separation uh, just so it looks kind of like the Nebulon-B pods. So we'll do that. Oh, I accidentally selected something in there. That's annoying. So then kind of for each level, we'll have two structures. So like we'll have, like this would be the top of one structure, and then we'll put a 192. So we'll have this. Then we'll put a 192. And so then we'll take this and we'll put it there again. And then this would count as another deck. So we may have fewer decks than we originally planned for. So like that would consist, we have the main kind of like deck, then we have, this would be, I'm not sure what this could be. This could be the bridge, because on the Nebulon-B, the bridge was like the second pod down, but because we're not going to be able to have that many, um, the bridge might have to just be the first pod down. So, and we're going to start shortening this once I get all these in place. But so then we'll take another 48 centimeter beam and we'll stick it right here for that separation. And then we'll select. And select a little bit more because that's what you do. And then I'm gonna spawn two of them in this time, one here and one down low. Actually, wait, I need to So we'll snap this in. I forgot copy and pasting. It's whack. We'll put that there, then we'll put this down here. And that way, so we can come down here like this. That was really abrupt, but then we can select it like this, super easy. So we'll put another 192 down here. And I think this may actually be the final like manned deck, because we won't need that much space at the bottom. What I want to do though is see if this is kind of, I know it's in Starbase of course, so it's going to be off proportion, but see if this is kind of the general like size of a Nebulon-B. It looks about right. Like if I were to have this moved back, like kind of like this. So I'm gonna pull it up. Yeah, so a Nebulon-B, like this first part, isn't more than like 2 times as long or as tall as this back portion. So that's actually about right where it is now. So what we'll do is we'll start sculpting the front area right here so that it kind of aligns with that like backwards kind of curving shape. So down here at the least, we want to take out like this much. That seems like a reasonable amount. And then we'll have to do the same with this portion right here. So we'll take out, uh, I don't know, I guess I'm going to call that a section. So we'll take that out, move that right there. And then, let's see. Here, I think, so this is a 192 beam, so 96 is half of it. So what we'll do is we'll take out that, and then, actually, wait. I think I want to leave those in, but then we'll put in 96 beams here. So it won't be exactly like proportional, which I think is actually kind of nice because none of the Star Wars ships truly look that proportional. So something like that, and then we'll take this out, take that out, and we'll put in those 96s. And then we'll do something like that, and just right there. Of course, though, this is in the way, so we're gonna have to. See, I don't even really know the size. Like, I know Nebulon-B was about 300 meters long, so this is more of a 1/6 size. Um, because the editor is 30 by 30 by 50. So 30 by 30 is the front portion. Oh. So this is 30 by 30 and then it's 50 meters long. So how it's like a bit under the 50-meter limit, I'd say it's about a 1/6 version. So, but we are going to save this because this is a lot of progress. So we're going to just do that. All right. So now really what we want to do is, so down here, what we'll do so this will be a floor of a section. So what we'll do is we'll have like a bottom kind of like this, something like that to cap it off. But I think we may just want to improve the structural durability of this, see if we can get as many things as possible connected. That would be helpful. So let's see, what do we want to do? So we can connect like, we'll see if we can connect these like by the back. I was gonna say if it was exactly, oh, it is exactly 192. Okay, that's extremely handy. So this won't be the full like connection that we do, but it's just gonna be there so that, you know, will, what do I want to say? It'll act as a connected part of the ship. So, and that way we can kind of do a little bit of structural integrity stuff. So we'll put that right there, and then one more section. And I'm not sure that we're gonna have this whole strengthened thing all the way to the bottom. Uh, it's looking like the structural integrity won't actually fare that bad. But so we'll just see what happens, you know, because like I guess the forces are transferring just fine, but it's odd that it's not transferring more forward. So we'll just hit auto bolt again, and we'll see what happens. If it actually works at all. Okay, cool. So that's something. Now this is not being connected because there's another attachment plate in the way, so we're gonna do this. And then we'll disable snapping and we'll just move that super close. And then,
Hello there.
ah, that was unexpected.
Yeah. Jesus Christ, how big are you gonna do this, man?
Um, this won't, this won't be legal. It's already almost not. We're already at half the attachment plates. Um,
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, yeah.
10,000 out of 31,000 bolts. Um,
Wait, that's illegal.
Not yet. It's going to be. It's so right now the voxel volume is 235 million out of 800 million.
Oh, Jesus.
So there's some more progress to be made.
But you could still just build it and maybe later on you can.
Like I'm gonna definitely like if it's possible, once Starbase has some more tech to it, I'm gonna spawn this in and use it. And also, so a lot of this red stuff is just inconsequential because there happens to be a attachment plate right there. So I'll just fix that later. It's not really an issue right now, but
Uh,
it had even with this, it still has a warp class of 0.32. The back
isn't
section has like 1.7.
isn't that kind of bad?
Oh yeah, this is. But once it starts holding together, that'll be
Yeah.
nice. So
Well, where you're gonna do like the cargo locks, lock beam.
yeah, if I were to do the cargo lock things, so what I would do is I'm thinking I could build this section back like this, and then I can kind of put in a hangar right here.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I'm still deciding because that would be like more of a 45-degree angle, I think.
That would be like kind of awesome, dude.
Yeah, I kind of want to have the space for a hangar. So Combustible showed me this fighter, and I'm gonna use it for size purposes, but we'll see how much like space I'll need to fit this.
Or you can like make it on the other side, you know?
Yeah. Uh, no. There we go. So if I put this over here. So it would need about that much space. So, hmm. You know,
That's kind of big. That would only
yeah,
fit like one ship.
that would only fit like one. Let's see. So it's not as long as like the back of the ship right here. So let's see if this like the personal fighter thing would fit. I think it's too long, but
Wait, do you hear this?
yeah, that's way too long. So I think what we'll need is we will need like an actual custom built fighter for the back section if we wanted to do that. Um, versus like building it around a pre-made ship. So we'll just stick that over there. Um, hmm. Yeah, we can definitely move this backwards though. So I'm gonna kind of do what I did up here, like how I have these fragmented apart, and I'm going to do that with beams. Do I want to use 192s or 96s? We'll just go with 192s because they're slightly more convenient. Um, oh, okay. So basically, we've kind of just been trying to design the front bit. It's going to take a lot of work on the top at least, but yeah, this is a lot of progress. And oh man, I can't wait to see this done in the future, if it is possible. Thanks. Yeah, so we'll see if it looks even more amazing later. But we're gonna try and stick in a hangar bay right now. So we'll move that like that.
Hmm.
So I
I
think
mean, if,
yeah.
no, no, sorry.
Oh,
Go ahead.
no, I wasn't really gonna say anything, but
I mean, you could probably go to the moon with this.
um, I could make a moon version of this, because so right now it's got like one, two, three, four. It's got 8 large propellant tanks, and then that's the current thruster pack. It's gonna be not enough, I believe.
Oh, yeah, it's
Um,
not enough.
I'm gonna be putting more thrusters down here because of just how it looks, like how the Nebulon-B looks. In Starbase, it would be unstable, so I'm gonna put those some more thrusters down there, and then I'm gonna be like filling this portion, kind of like the middle, like in an upside down T, with triangle thrusters.
Hmm.
So that may be slightly enough. Even if this moves at like 50 meters a second, that would be pretty reasonable. So let's see, what was I thinking of? I was thinking of making a hangar bay. So what we'll need is I'm actually going to use the 96 centimeter beams because they just work slightly better since they're smaller. So I'm going to move it back here.
I mean,
Mm.
it just looks like it's gonna fit like just a plasma, you know?
You know, we could easily fit a Vasama in here.
Yeah, but just one, you know, and nothing
Yeah,
really much bigger.
like just our railgun Vasama and call it a day.
Yeah, it just looks like that, yeah. I mean, what kind of ship is it gonna be? Like mining ship now, right?
No, this is gonna. So originally this was just gonna be a ship that I could build because I wanted to. Um, so, um, but I think what I could do is turn it more like this could definitely be like a combat freighter super easily. Um, or a combat ship of like any kind for that matter.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Just stick a lot of guns to it, yeah.
like the turrets that are going to be put on this thing, there's going to be a nice chunk of them. So
Yeah, you're gonna need a lot.
yeah,
And probably more easy to control turrets, I would say.
yeah. We'll see how
Like,
those shake out. Because like
yeah. Because the other ones are not like nice to
easy,
control, to be
no.
honest.
So what I think I'm going to do is like actually that looks pretty reasonable. If I just continue this down like that, it would meld with the ship well. And then we can add in like more surface texture. Like well, we're definitely going to be adding in more surface texture here, but
Oh, but that comes to the end.
yeah,
In the end.
that's going to
So,
be much later on.
I
So
would guess like you would have to do 10 streams at least, probably.
yeah, I
I'm
agree.
gonna guess that.
Yeah, something like that, some painful number. I've been doing a lot of work off camera, and I think a lot of this will actually be off camera, just because a lot of this is going to be monotony.
Hmm.
Like,
Just repetitive.
yeah,
You could just like make YouTube videos with the best highlights and stuff, or just
yeah. See, but I
in
also have
between
like no patience for editing. I do not like editing.
of.
Yeah. So I think that curve actually looks really nice. So I think we'll kind of go with that. That looks extremely spicy. So 96, that may actually just work there. And then we'll cover that up with plating later on. And then what we can do with this is we can just take it and copy and paste it. And we'll put it there where the other one is. And then boom, there's that slope right there. And then we'll use the plating again. Plating is going to be our savior. And we'll plate up like the back area. And that'll be nice and handy. Um, yeah, this is definitely like a shortened Nebulon-B, but it's the best we can do.
Yeah.
Alright, so I think we'll work on like the bow now. So we have enough space definitely to do it. Um, but I think we'll use 96 beams for this. So I want it to be I want it to be sort of a gentle slope, or well, it can't really be gentle like this, but I want it to be as soft as possible. So what I think we may actually just do is I'll use these 96s. I'll put them right up and against each other. So we'll rotate them down like that. Bring it up, bring it in. Just so like the bases are touching there. And then so kind of the method I'm using to do this is I'm enabling and then disabling snapping, because that way I can move it in the 2D plane super easy, and so they're all lined up how they should be. But I can also rotate them like this however I want them. I think what we'll do here is we'll switch to 48s until the angle changes, like to a negative angle. So I forgot to do my thing here, but just so that we get a little bit more abruptness. And then we'll have that. Oh, it's still not flat, but soon, soon. Actually, I may just have the flat bit be like 24 centimeters. Don't really need it to be anything notable. So there's that. And then what we'll do is we'll just take this then we'll kind of line it up. So I realize now I didn't do my trick, but that's because it was a little bit more difficult here. But we can still line it up. There we go. Okay, so now that does look really nice for a front slope, but that is a little bit more than what we're looking for. We need to move it so that it lines up more with this. So, how do I want to do this? I'm not quite sure. Let's think real quick. So we're gonna need like a boundary here. So it's gonna like come in like this. Like we're gonna have plating here. There's gonna be a separation here basically. So I want this to kind of meet up right below this or at this. So what I think I need to do is I need to make some things shorter. Um,
You could have like at the base, like a turret room.
like
You
down
just have
there.
like, yeah, but you just have a lot of turrets.
Oh yeah, this is gonna have tons of turrets. There's gonna be a turret there, a turret on each of the sides of the engine pod, as well as the top. Then I call it the cheeks of the craft. So like on the left and right of that like big bow area.
I
Um,
mean, theoretically, you could also have like side turrets you can fire
oh yeah,
from the bridge, you know.
this is going to have that. Yeah. So that's I was trying to stay like as much as I could to a regular Nebulon-B design. Um, and so that is actually included kind of in the Nebulon-B.
Yeah. You like something where it's just pointing to the sides, and then you can just move it up or down, you know, and not
Yeah.
to these sides. And then you can like fire 20 missiles at once.
I think so. Originally, this was actually just going to be like a craft that I was going to make because Star Wars is cool and I like it. But yeah, I think I could just make this a full-blown warship for fun. Like, because so in Star Wars, a Nebulon-B is an escort frigate. So I think I may actually just use that as this, um, like as it was intended in the Star Wars universe, in the Starbase universe. So like this should be long range. We'll see how long range it is, you know, if we're able to even flight test it. Um, but so, well, yeah, we'll just see how it shakes out, really. Okay, so that is like, yeah, that's perfect right here. So that'll be like the bow, that'll be half of it. So it'll be kind of like this front part will be more spherical, like flat. I don't quite know how to describe it. Like half a cylinder. That's kind of how I want to describe it. If I did that, I think some people would just kind of like sit there and, yeah, like as you're saying, like just kind of sit there in awe and be like, holy. If we can even pay for this. I think I'm gonna take this into the test universe, like port it over once we can, because we've been given access. So every time a new patch is about to come out, we're able to go to a test universe, and there we basically have unlimited money. And so I think what I could do is port this over to that, because we can port over blueprints and use this. So what we're still gonna do is, so we're gonna need to make this longer. So instead of meeting up earlier, it meets up just about at the point here. So, and I think this may be one of the first like ships that I've seen that would actually go over any of the allowed values. Because right now it's already what is that? 14.5 million, and it's at this stage. So there's a lot of progress to be made here. Mhm. Man, I can't imagine rolling up in a PvP. Wow, that would oof, strike terror into people's hearts. If I could build this in the normal universe, that would be utterly incredible.
I mean, if you were to like build it in the real universe, you need to imagine what others would do.
Yeah.
Like, like there are many uh, people with much time.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, I would probably have to do that. I haven't really done any mining streams, like if we're being real. Like,
I mean, mining streams is generally.
see, because like personally, like mining streams, I'm not the biggest fan of them, mainly just because, in my opinion, it's more of just a time to say like ask me anything and stuff. But other than that, you're kind of just chilling there for, you know, a couple hours, like not really doing anything. But I mean, if
Yeah.
if you guys like them, then definitely. Oh, construction streams? Yeah, I'm definitely doing these.
Man. I think they are gonna like probably have new alpha testers too when the new updates come out, like bigger updates.
Yeah, most likely. Oh, as a way
And
to make
then,
money? Yeah, I could probably do that. Sorry, what was that? Lumix?
I mean, then we can have like also like more of an opportunity to recruit people, you know,
Yeah, like
and
just
also
plaster
to
SOS on the side of this.
yeah.
And I already sold like the design of one of my ships, so could do
I mean,
more of that.
you also like uh, gave it as a gift to some people, to many people, some design.
What, this ship? If
Yeah.
I gave this ship away, oh man, that would be something else. I'm gonna save this though, because that front bit was a little bit painful to do. Ah, I can just see this now. Flying through the universe. SOS on the side. Yeah, like we could put racing stripes on it.
Oh
Or
yeah.
because there were medical versions of the Nebulon-B frigates in Star Wars, and we could just portray it as a medical version. But this is actually looking pretty solid. We'll be putting like antennas and stuff, like surface textures on this later on, but I think that's actually looking really nice right now. Ooh,
I
okay.
mean, I'm hyped when they add like color plating. When you're
Yeah,
able to color plating, it's gonna be awesome.
that is going to be amazing. I think what we can do for now, though, is just like yoink plates from other ships. So, though, what I'm noticing here is like this will line up perfectly, but this is a little bit lower, so it won't. Um, what I could do to fix that, though, is if I just like turn these in. Hmm,
I mean, couldn't you theoretically like build a ship out of multiple parts, out of multiple blueprints.
I
You
don't
know.
think that would work. I think so. I think it was the Centurio that they tried something like that with, and it just like broke.
Mm,
Because I think
okay.
the part like maximums are universal. Like it's not just the editor
Ah,
checks for
okay.
them. It's like
Okay.
everything checks for
Okay.
them.
So you can't like bolt more to it.
Yeah.
Okay. 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 Oh yeah, I saw this. Yeah.
Um, Let me
I
check
had this
that.
also open.
I need to check that out. Which tab? There we go. Oh, yeah, we could do something like that. That would be cool. But so now what I really want to decide is so what I'm going to be doing a lot more of the structure. Like I'm going to be putting all the structure together later. So that's not really a big issue right now. But what like what purpose is each room going to have? So what I was thinking is so this room up here. So this like is gonna be a map. Oh, geez, I'm falling through the ship. Um, so like this area, which is gonna be like the biggest room on the ship, it could either be an observation deck, or I was thinking we could put like generators in here and stuff. This could
Yeah.
honestly be where we put the fighters, but I was thinking this could be,
Or like the repair stuff or
yeah.
something. I
Oh,
don't
geez, I'm hitting stuff all around. That's
know. But I mean, we also have another hangar for that
yeah. We
already.
could put a large front window on it. Hmm.
Like a giant conference room because
Yeah.
so we can flex on people.
Uh-huh.
We don't need this room. Ah.
So what I could do is so what rooms we need. So we need a generator room because I don't want the generators to be back there with all the propellant and stuff. I want the generators to have their own area. So what we could do is have this open as like our conference room area, kind of like just a big open room. Then we have a mini hangar right back here, and that would hold like one ship, like or maybe two like railgun Vasamas, something like
Mm,
that. Um, then this area would ideally be the bridge, um,
yeah.
because just that's where the bridge
But
would
I
be.
mean, you need to imagine that you don't want them to target your generators, really.
Well, yeah, so like I was thinking the generators could be this section here, or the section down here.
Yeah, I guess. And you could have like one extra few propellant tank down there. So
Yeah,
when uh, okay, when the propellant tanks in the back get blown off, so you can't move. But
yeah.
yeah, the,
So I have yet to decide what I want to do with this because I think it could just be like we could have tons of storage up here for like generator fuel rods and stuff and more like propellant tanks and things. We could do that for like the moon version. We can make a moon version of this that
I mean, you could generally have like a storage there, yeah,
yeah.
and then have like parts you can replace
hmm
ships.
Like it could be the SOS like Bastion and like have tons of spare parts so like if somebody crashes or something, we can just like take them out of there.
Yeah, like pickaxe, repair
Yeah,
tools, everything just
the
on
whole
the
nine
bolted on
yards.
the walls.
Yeah, so batteries, there will most likely be a ton of batteries back here in the spaces I can't fill with propellant. Um, so there's also going to be like a cap here. So there's going to be the ship mounted weapons that are like for the pilot to fire that's going to be down there, uh, as well as like right here. And then we can put more sorry, not generators, batteries down there. Yolol can be like behind the command bridge. But see, escape pods, like I think I'd have to do rails for that. Like make little,
I mean, escape pods are pretty useless.
yeah. Like honestly, it may be better suited like to leave a space open and then have room for if they add in what's it called? the like endo respawn points onto ships.
Yeah.
Have that in there. So,
I mean, I would like the
mm,
above is like just free, you know,
yeah.
and open to like custom to each Nebulon.
hmm Hmm. Like we could definitely make different versions of this. Like we could have a heavily armed version. We could have like mapping version.
Hmm.
I'm not so interior turrets, those are just massive. Like if we were to put a weapon inside, but we could definitely have like a blast door thing. Like we could put like a
Yeah,
blast door at this like front section right here, and then like one back there, maybe one below and above the bridge.
I mean, you could have like one turret in the hallway, you know, and then just activate it with a button.
So yeah, so this back here, this definitely won't be a wavy corridor. So this will just be your run-of-the-mill corridor. Um, but up here, this, so it's wide enough for multiple endos. So what it's going to be is it's going to be split into two halves. So like right down the middle here. Um, I can put like beams in between to separate it. And then so one will be like the down elevator and the other will be the up elevator. So um, how to like describe it is, let me take like a plate. Let's get something like this. So let's say that this is the elevator system. So this shaft would count as like the up shaft, and this would be the down one. So you can't, go down this. Like, well, I don't quite, I didn't phrase that right, but this one, you wouldn't be able to go down on, so you can only go down on this. Then you'd step out on the other level, and then this one, you can't go up in, so you can only, so having like elevator shafts like that, I think is the way to go. I have that in the Bastet, so I think I'll do something like that here. Um, what I think I may do is like end this corridor earlier, like somewhere over here. Um, we'll see how the structural integrity turns out. I think it's actually not even going to be that bad. Um, but we'll end this like back there. Oh yeah, this definitely will be a big target. But with the amount of crew we'll have on board, hopefully it'll be easier to defend. Because I would not want to be flying this with any fewer than like, uh,
10.
yeah, something like that. Because, oh man. But this is definitely gonna have like a full engine, like the thruster section. This is gonna be like a full engineering compartment back here. And I was thinking we can have a full navigation and YOLOL like computer room on this. Because like this, you can totally like, you can repair all the thrusters and everything from inside. Like you don't have to take anything apart. Like you can just go up in here and all this. So even if I plate the outside, you'll still be able to access all this. Um, but so what I was thinking is, so if this is the big room, I don't know what we'll put in here. We can decide on that later. But so we can have the bridge. Like if this level could be the bridge, have all of our main command functions. Um, this could be the like navigation and YOLOL center. So like you can program all of the navigation here, potentially autopilot, and like if you want to edit code on the fly, it's all in this room. And then down one more level down here, we could have the generators and maybe extra propellant tanks as well. And I was thinking our reinforced bulkheads would really just be in this area to keep kind of the two compartments separate. So like the engine compartment and like the main compartment. I need
Mm,
to figure out like actual names for each section. Like we have the engine, the mid section, and then I guess I can just call this the forward.
yeah, man, you need like probably like uh, 8 flag
Yeah,
turrets or something.
there's gonna be
Yeah.
at least one, two, three, four, five. There's probably going to be between 5 and 6 actual turrets, and then several mounted weapons, and if possible, um, torpedoes. Like what they're
Oh
not in
yeah,
yet,
yeah, yeah. You can like build
hmm
missiles that can
but we can
also.
put torpedoes on this because it would have enough room. So we could leave like
Yeah.
space in that like weapons complement area down here where the main weapons will be. Like we can have we can leave space for a torpedo. Oh yeah, like we could have hinges along the walls here that just like pop out.
I
That could
mean, if
work.
they pop out, you don't have any power anymore because.
Well,
Oh,
like no, if you're getting boarded, like have a couple hinges along the walls here, and then they can block the hallway.
okay. Yeah.
Uh,
I mean,
uh,
if they get in, if you're getting boarded, I don't know.
if we're getting
The
boarded, we have a lot of issues, but
I mean, they're probably not gonna head for the main
yeah,
room, rather to the propellant tanks.
yeah.
You're
So
gonna need a lot of armor on these propellant tanks and stuff.
yeah, yeah, this ship is way too expensive. Like, and since you're not going to be able to make blueprints from ships, like I don't really see a major issue with having to have a self-destruct. Oh my, I really need to start bolting all of this in. Um, maybe while I speak, I should like work on this. Here, let me pull up the Nebulon-B again, and we'll see what we want to do. So, honestly, right now, I'll do this like bottom part right here, and then I think what we can do is I'll start making like this top part and seeing if I can sculpt it better because it looks a little bit wonky. I may want to move this like right here one more section.
At what price is it right now?
15
Uh,
million.
oh Jesus!
So
And you haven't done anything like.
yeah, there's no
Oh,
weapons, consoles, generators. There's only a couple of thrusters, um, the propellant tanks, and the hull.
that is like almost all my money, man.
The, so this is gonna be a hefty ship. This would definitely be a capital ship. There's no question about it.
Yeah, I mean, we would probably take like 2 fighters as escorts.
Yeah. After this,
Yeah.
I've got to decide, do I want to design like an A-wing, an X-wing, or a consular class frigate? I think honestly an A-wing might be the best way to go about this because an A-wings are smaller and
Mm,
could
and have like,
mhm.
yeah, no, 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 don't.
Yeah, the X-wings are already there, so we could do like an A-wing, and that may actually be like the right size to fit.
I mean, imagine having 3 of those, and like 2 capital ships with like 5 fighters in them, like
Oh,
2 plasma voicemail,
that would be
plasma,
so nice.
and then just okay, guys, head out, and then you just see them flying out. Oh,
Like having a true capital ship.
yeah, like imagine that.
It, oh man, that gives me jitters. I can't wait for when that eventually happens. But I think, yeah, that looks much better. So this top part is much better suited to be longer like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, we could just have like this room up here. Like we could have massive doors on the side and have it be like a multi-purpose, like we can pull stuff in and out and do all kinds of stuff with it. And yeah, see the blockade runner, I do kind of like the design, but the only thing is I feel like it would be really difficult with the thruster section in that because like they're all the separate little like bits, and I'm not sure like on this I definitely haven't gone true to how it looks, true like the engine segment, but do I want to stray even further is the question. And mm,
Oh, imagine like there's gonna be like a hyperspace or something like that,
oh
right?
yeah.
Like imagine this ship just popping out of nowhere in front of a blockade or something. Oh,
Like it's just like some pirates have taken over like the outside of one of the warp gates,
stations,
and
yeah.
then like we get a little fleet together including this and we just pop out and it oh man.
Imagine this.
I
And
would
then,
oh if I'm not streaming or recording that, I would be extremely sad.
I mean, it would be like space engineered these like events or something,
Yeah.
but like with proper physics and proper servers. Like,
Oh,
oh,
thanks, Mr. Fonts. Uh, it's still a ways, but it's a big boy. Oh man. So what I think I'm gonna do is so this portion like here has to be rounded. So what I am thinking is I can make like a 45-degree angle here, and then I'll just use a bunch of 30-degree angles, like, and make this work well. We'll see how that special. Yeah, that's it. And we'll have it be the longer 30-degree angles. I haven't really known much Warhammer 30K, so actually I am definitely going to go with the shorter ones on this because this is already massive.
I mean, there's gonna be like gates, I think.
Yeah,
So
it's gonna be the warp gates, but
imagine we get like a call from a bigger faction, you know?
hey, would you like to help us?
And then we get a call, yeah, maybe hostiles, and then just
Yes. You just see us popping out of hyperspace and it's like, oh yeah. So I think what I'm gonna do is instead of having it like this, like where we have this in between, I'm just gonna take this out. Oh,
wait, what is WH? Or oh, it's 40k. I'm stupid. Yeah.
keep selecting things back there. So if I do something like this, then I can kind of put the plating along. Is that? There we go. Like that would work. That looks. So we'll just put plating along that, and that would be sufficient. We'll just take this and then we'll copy and paste onto the other side. If there was a mirror tool, I would, oh man, I'd be so happy. Like the amount, like the hours that I would be saved.
Oh Jesus, yeah.
I could like, I could get my diploma with that time.
Yeah. Wait, how many hours do you have already?
Let's check. As of today, I have 157 hours. So I've been
Oh
slacking.
Jesus. Yeah, not 10 hours every day. How dare
Yeah,
you?
I know. And the
I
copy rotation tool is good, and it's enough for me now, but the future holds more.
Yeah, and like plating is super annoying. Like,
Yeah.
oh,
Pl Oh man. I had like I put up one of the other streams where I basically just did plating. Sorry, not plating, bolting and stuff. And that was a rough one on YouTube. Like I was just like, "Oh, this is okay, so what I think we're gonna do, so this is actually like a little bit more than what I want. Oh, okay. So this could actually, okay, I
oh,
think I stumbled upon something that would be really nice. So in the Nebulon-B, so I have the straight side along here. So like I just used these 192 beams and I made it straight along here. But that's not actually how it is in the Star Wars universe. It's like bumped out a little bit. So I can move these down a little bit over here. Yeah, right to there. And then those will align almost perfectly with the deck level of this, which is what I
oh,
wanted it to do.
that's satisfying.
So that is really nice. And yeah,
Nice.
it did take like 2 streams to plate. Oh man, that was an interesting time. So if we do that, then it works out almost perfectly. That is excellent. And then so we'll continue this in and it'll be kind of flat here, but of course the plating, we'll do it a little bit different. We'll do it in smaller denominations of plating to make it look more natural. Um, yeah. uh,
That's what I. Yeah.
yeah, Lumex beat you to it, but he said 10, so I guess whoever gets the number of streams it'll take to build this correct gets a ride in it. And yeah, we've mined a full load with the best stat. It was me, Combustible, Hydro, and Lumex, and we
We
got
made
40k,
around.
400k a piece, roughly.
Yeah, it's like 1.2 million or something
Yeah,
around
and
that.
that was like with pretty mediocre ores. Like I think that
Yeah,
was all. It was a mix of Nergite and like
Carnate.
yeah,
Carnate? Yeah,
Carnite.
Carnite, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but have you seen the economy today in
Oh,
Starbase?
it just
It's oh,
plummeted.
it made me cry a little. I went out this morning and I was like, I oh man, I'm gonna get this ore and it's gonna be good. And I ran across Crutonium and I was like, okay, that's 50 a kilovoxel. That's pretty handy. And I go into port and I'm like, what? This is 2 a kilovoxel.
What the fuck?
Yeah,
Wait, what?
yeah.
Jesus.
It was like actually was more like 4 or 5, but still. So
That's like
I
a reduction.
it was like 7,000 a stack. And I'm like, what is happening here? I So some of
Like,
the prices like are just dirt cheap.
oh, Jesus. What happened?
I have no clue, but it makes me sad because I
It's
was
like
like,
1929.
yeah,
Oh,
for real. And I mean, I already,
we already have like a faction.
yeah, like, I mean, we have save our ships, which is kind of what I'm gonna be like doing a lot of this with. So,
Yeah.
like, are you talking
Yeah.
about like a shipbuilder thing or? Because like a couple people have asked like if I would like might build ships, and I'm like, I don't even think I'm that good, but here I am. So
I mean, they just think you have a lot of time and you understand it basically.
yeah, This is actually starting to look kind of proper submarine-like.
Oh, oh, like I could imagine really nice windows
Oh,
also out of the sides.
windows like
Like,
imagine if this just had 360 degree.
oh,
Oh, no.
just just exploration ship now.
And then I have a whole navigation suite and stuff on this. Oh man.
Man, this is gonna be like a warship, a
Ferb,
mining ship, an
Ferb, I know
SAS
what we're
ship,
gonna do
an
today.
exploration. uh,
Yeah, I think I need to take a second and just like cool down here. Mm.
oh, like imagine like an exploration ship.
There are so many different versions of this we could do. Because we could have on board like ship, like, if we did have the space for the Vasama and all that, like we could have on board like fuel and stuff for those. And so we could actually have like proper little ships that'll go out and explore the area surrounding the
Yeah,
ship.
like you could have like two Vasamas or something.
Yeah,
You
we
know.
could definitely, because here, let's see if I can pull in a Vasama right now.
Yeah, you can. I think they're like pre-made ships.
Yeah,
Uh,
I think I have
they're
to,
under selection or something. I
I think
think.
I have to save it, as like one of my own ships here.
Yeah, just save it right now before it crashes.
We'll save this, we'll open the Vasama, and then we'll save it as like our own ship, and then I can drag it in then.
Like, like the hover bikes from Star Wars.
Yeah.
Like, imagine those just
Okay, so here's the
like you
Vasama.
landing on the moon and then.
So save as Vasama.
Yeah, that's like you could probably fit three.
Oh
I
yeah.
guess in the hangar.
Like this would we might even be able to like have Vasama vignettes. So here's how big it is. Oh, we could easily fit a couple of these. Like, so if that's gonna be our hangar space back there, we might be able to fit like two or maybe three.
I mean, if you
So
do
like
them like this,
cargo lock
you can.
frame. Like I might consider taking like this portion out here. Like because the back it doesn't on the Nebulon-B, it doesn't have to be separated. Like the back of the Nebulon-B, like this is all one hull right here. So instead of like the different like forward
Oh yeah.
sections.
Mm-hmm.
So we could have enough space for a nice sizable hangar and fit two
Then can fit
Vasamas.
and a half, four.
Like
Oh wait, no, I see it wrong. Yeah,
because those
two.
are sizable.
I mean, you can also pick them up. I think so.
Yeah.
With with your hands, you can pick them up and just transport them out. So
Here, let me see if I can just select all the Vasama.
you can just click the green point.
It didn't work.
Oh,
So I'm just gonna do that. And then we'll just create the module. Okay, yeah, so that works. So we could fit like two Vasamas in here.
yeah.
So, and potentially, like, we could put like an FCU and MFC on here, and then like arm it.
Yeah, like. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, something like that.
I mean, you could also remove like the upper part.
Yeah, like this right here. So what I was thinking of doing is like if we just
Yeah,
remove this,
and
well,
then you can have
actually,
like a weapon underneath or
so
something.
if we take this out, so like we can move this back, but we can take
Oh
like
boy.
this section out.
Have it latch onto an enemy ship aboard. I mean,
And then this whole portion back here, like actually we'll take this out as well. Um, But we could totally fit something back here.
I mean, you could just have like a boarding crew or something that's driving these Vasamas, you know?
Yeah, like, because we can ride on top of the Vasamas and all that.
Yeah, like two drivers
Mm-hmm.
and two other guys with guns, and then just boarding the other ship.
So, like that. And then, at a minimum, this ship could, just fit like Vasamas like that. But what we could also do is we could have a specialized version, another specialized version where
SS version.
where we have this be the hangar bay up here. Look at how,
But then you can like fit two A-wing fighters.
yeah, we could fit so much up here. Like, look at that. We could fit like 10 Vasamas. So,
You could
um,
have just like an exploration ship.
yeah. So this could definitely have a carrier version. Oh man, this makes me like think of so many things to do that with this. It's making me put off like actually making it. But what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna put in like this section here, uh, just so it's a little bit handier for us. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna
Oh man, you should like write down these ideas and then just
here
make a checklist and make everything. Yes,
here.
good idea.
Does somebody want to put a list together of everything we've thought of? Medical frigate. Oh, that doesn't fit right.
Capital ship frigate.
So
Like 360 degrees.
yeah.
Bridge glass.
Oh,
Complete warship.
like literally just go nuts.
Man.
Oh man. I think I'm gonna spend more time on like actually making refits of this.
Imagine there being like a bug and you can actually like use it like a full worship of it. Worship.
Oh, if I can use
Because this,
like the full version of this, because I know I'm not gonna be able to for a while. Um, like that would be extremely
I
smart.
imagine there being bug and you could have used it during today's PvP
Oh,
event.
if this was created and I could have used it during today's PvP, that would be amazing. And also, yes, so rocket batteries. So there are going to be two things like that I want to have. So I want to have the ability to put the newer weapons on this. So down here, we're going to have the room that we want to have for torpedoes once those are able to be put in. So that way we can actually super easily engage other capital ships. And then the other part we're going to have on here is potentially one of those missile turrets, and because those would be really helpful, and we could put
I
it like
mean,
up here.
yeah, like you could have like force things
Yeah.
like on a warship. Imagine them just popping out and then.
Ooh, yeah.
Oof.
Like if we had hidden turrets up here,
Oh. Yeah,
because
you could like probably hide in the bump, you know, two hidden turrets or something.
and yeah, we can guide torpedoes. But yeah, ooh, so many ideas. What do you mean by that? I'm not familiar with the term.
Imagine this exploding.
Did I hear crying in the distance?
I mean, imagine the lag right now.
Oh man, because apparently there's an issue like with the amount of lag coming from ships that like have tons of holes in them.
Yeah, but also like all the little parts, you know.
Yeah. Oh, and if we can
It's
put point defense cannons in here, we definitely will, because yeah, this will
wait,
need them.
point defense cannons. What are
Yeah,
those?
so basically, like, are you familiar with CIWS, like close-in weapon systems? Like on
I
ships?
have no idea. Wait,
Okay,
I'm just
cool.
gonna look it up on
Um,
the internet.
Basically, like they can take out like missiles and
Ah, yeah,
mortars,
yeah. Oh, oh, yes,
so
yes.
stuff like that.
Yeah, I see. Yeah.
And like you can also use them for real easy fighter defense.
Mm-hmm.
Also, you'll notice here I am not using proper intersections at all. That's because
It's annoying.
like the intersection between these two right here is not like the proper like spacing. So I'm kind of just going willy-nilly with it, but it's working. So,
Oh Jesus! If like this game has so much fucking potential.
oh
Oh,
yeah,
like
I'm
and
hmm
mm,
this
I
is already creating just tension having it like this. So I'm gonna have to figure out a way to do this properly actually. What I could do is I could just actually move this entire thing down. Because like it's created by this not having 5 connection points. What I'm gonna do something that's gonna be really annoying. But this needs to happen, otherwise we're gonna have some issues. Forgot a little chunk there. There we go. Okay, so what we're gonna do is hmm, delete those because we'll just fix those later. Actually, we're gonna do that and then delete them. Um, so we need to make it so that the connections here are actually real because the stress that gets put on is really a lot. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna pull this off, and then we are gonna transform this into, I want to put it like 6 direction intersection beams, just in case we need to add in something later. Come on. I don't know why you won't snap properly. But okay, so then we'll do that. And then what we can do is we can just copy and paste this entire row. And then I'm going to do something interesting. So I'm going to do this and that. Except that's not in the right spot. So it creates that double connector there, which is kind of what we're looking for. But we are going to take this out, actually, because I want this to be like flat with everything. Oh, thanks for the host. And hey, how's it going, man? The ship is going really well. Um, we've got a lot of the general shape done. Um, I'm just currently modifying like the inner core of it because there's some issues with it, so I'm making it stronger. Um, but so I'm really just trying to get this general bit, and then so this part though, I want to make this more flat. So we're gonna take a 5 intersection, yeah. So we're gonna take this and we're gonna turn it like that, and then there we go. So this way it's not annoying to walk across because almost everything in this ship is annoying to. I was inspired by the Nebulon-B from Star Wars, so I'm basically just copying that, but with the STARBASE twist. Star Wars. Alright, so I think I selected that entire thing. So now we're gonna pull it here. Right there. Oh, So this is within the size limit, but it's not going to be within any of the like some of the other limits, because right now we're already at over half our attachment plates, 10,000 of the bolts. Uh, so the ship designer is 50 by 30 by 30 meters. So 50 meters long is basically our limit, but this is just touching that. So like there's that much space there, and then if we go over here, there is this much space. So, not too much space. Okay, so what I'm gonna do here is I am going to like, yeah, they'll increase the limits. I don't know why they haven't done it yet, but like the ship sizes are able to 150 meters. Um, hmm, I don't think so. If this was 150 meters, then I could actually make this the size. Uh, I would just make a half-size model of the Nebulon-B actually. Like I could legitimately make a half-size ship. That would be really nice though. I'm not gonna lie. And aren't they planning on having like a different kind of ship designer that's going to be for like capital ships, so you can bring in even bigger ones?
Yeah, I heard about it.
Oh, so these curves, so I can connect these, but so how they're doing right now is I just rotated them using the rotation tool and put them up real close to each other. And I can just manually put on attachment plates and things, and they'll work perfectly fine. Same with these. Like they're a little bit spread out, but I can just use a larger attachment plate and put them together. So it's really just I'm gonna have to do it manually, which I'm gonna do off screen, because nobody likes to see me just struggling over stuff like that. Um, but yeah, I can do that. So unless you guys want to see me do it on screen, then I can do that for sure. So we'll just. I'd like to say I invented it myself, but I'm pretty sure someone has found it out before me. Like, you know, I'm not sure if they're actually going to add curved pieces. I really hope they do because curved pieces are amazing, but because of the voxel technology, um, we may just have to suffer with edges because voxels don't really do well with curves, I don't think. But I'm hoping that once I start getting a lot of this connected, like it won't break because right now it's looking pretty fine with what it's doing. So, hmm. Oh man, I'm already like feeling the pain from when I'm gonna have to plate this. And so like for like weird edges and stuff, so there's a ton of them on here, but things you can do are just like you may consider them cheaty, but they work. So like I want to do something like this. Like if I want to connect these. Oh, that may actually work. Does that work? Like boom, that that's legal. Like, of course, so because that's the only thing connecting this entire section, it's giving me so many warnings, and I'm gonna do that all later, but it's possible. The reason this whole thing is, yeah, very cursed, but legal. And that's basically what's happening with this. This doesn't have enough connections to it, and some of the connections here are just like that, but we'll see what shakes out. Um, I'll take you on an adventure. So these are some cursed things back here. So if you would examine this cursed piece, that is legal, or perhaps this cursed piece. another unique example of what I've been doing. Yeah, I don't know how to really do emotes, so uh, but then here are some other examples. I need to find if there's like an endo with like an already endo like holding a sign kind of image, because that would be really handy. So potentially we'll find out. Um, Here, let's go down here and we will work on the bottom of the ship. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take these out. Going to remove them like that. Oh, okay. So I'll just remove them like that. So what I think I may do is I may do the 5-way intersections. That looks like it would work. Did I delete like 5-way intersections? No, okay, those were 4s. We're fine. Delete, delete, and delete. So we'll take these 5s, and then this way, so we'll have I'm not sure, we may not want to have like a very flat bottom of the ship, but we can change it. It's gonna be no biggie. Oh man, this ship is gonna take forever. I wish I actually kept a clock running um, when I was like designing off camera to see how much time that this is gonna take like to build. Oh man, I'm very sad I don't have water with me. My voice, it hurts. Okay, so we'll bolt that on and then we'll save again because I haven't saved in the past little bit of time. So rather be safe than lose this entire project, because if I lost this entire project, I may never be seen again. I may just disappear from Starbase forever.
Oh man. Tim,
Yeah,
don't be like that.
but man, like, come on, look at this thing. I think I may like save this in other areas, like under other names, just in case.
I mean, you could just save it, like go into the actual Starbase folder, you know?
Yeah,
Maybe it's saved there. I'm not sure. I mean, when you can transfer blueprints, I think you can also like save it externally outside of Starbase, probably.
that would be handy.
And with that, you could also save like bugs.
Hmm.
Well,
Yeah. So we're gonna put that there. That is not quite the right size. Like it's just a little off, but that isn't really much of a worry. And if the 45-degree angle there is too rough, we can just use 30 degrees. I think I may use the 30 degrees for up here, so I'm gonna snatch that actually. Gonna bop bop bop. And then we'll flip it upside down. And we'll kind of put it on the nose like this. I hope this is like the right size. Okay, so it works out just about right. Yeah. So we'll put that one more in. Yeah, right there. That way there's the chance of it putting a... And we're actually going to delete these because then AutoBolt will recognize it and maybe just bolt it. Okay, cool. Um, so the bottom. Um, we want to make like a smaller area. So what we can do, how do I want to do this? That is the question. I could take this 30-degree angle again. Something like this. Like put a, yeah, 96 seems proper for this. Yoink, yoink. So something like that. I don't know. That could work. We can change it later. No biggie. There we go. Da, da, da. Okay. And then we'll just put this right here. Except I can't actually see it. It's like I have a massive unibrow. Right there. And then we'll just do like the 192s, like the way we've been doing it. Except so we've been using the 5-way beams intersections. I think we might want to use the 4-way corners. Did I even move this down far enough? I did not. So what I can do is I can actually just shorten this. That's no biggie. I'll just use, the shorter beams. Move it upwards a little so it aligns with this like 90-degree but made out of 30 degrees. That would be nice and handy. So we're gonna do that. Yoink. And so let's see. Made using 9. We'll use a 96 and a 72. We'll see if that produces the desired results. And we'll just stick it right there. Okay, so it's 12 centimeters too long. So we used a 96, a 72. So we could use a 36 and a 24, I think. If my brain is working properly, which it probably isn't, but okay, it is. Alrighty. So we'll just copy and paste that around, and then we'll move these up, and then it should be the perfect height. No, I want to copy you. I'm not deleting all of this. Accidentally deletes everything. Oh.
Oh, I mean, luckily you. Did you save in the last 10 minutes?
I'll just save again.
Yes, save as much as you need.
Every single time I move one thing, save.
I mean, when you do like one part,
Yeah.
because you're gonna get annoyed when you redo that.
Oh, yeah.
Imagine them resetting your character
Oh,
and
man.
you losing all your ships.
Haha. I would be very sad.
Yeah. And did you also like need to input a name today?
Yeah. They,
Yeah, I was scared that my character was deleted.
yeah, they changed some stuff around, and um, I don't know why we had to put in names again, but
I mean, you could have had the opportunity to put an SOS in front of it.
I mean,
Or are you not a true follower?
well, yeah, I'm not a follower, I'm a leader. Ha! Yeah.
Heretic.
Whoa.
I'm gonna purge you now and then rescue you.
Oh, would you look at the time? It's purge o'clock.
Purge you club. Nice.
This is gonna definitely be an interesting ship to finish. Though okay, the side profile of this is actually really nice.
It is. I mean,
Yeah.
in the back, it looks kind of like too compressed, I think.
Well, I can always like are you talking about like with the midsection?
No, I'm talking about the back section.
Oh,
It's
like how
like,
it's just short
no, like where the propellants are. Like, it's a bit compressed, I think.
like this.
Yeah,
I could
it could be like a big, long, I think.
Yeah,
One was small, like, I don't know. I don't know.
it could be. Who knows?
Or the hallway could be like one section shorter, maybe.
Hmm.
Then you have like one section less cable
Yeah.
and plating and stuff.
It's gonna be interesting once I start putting like actual stuff in the front, how the forces are gonna transfer. Because
Oh yeah.
right now it's like, oh, it's just connected, but yet,
Uh, like it's like, imagine having like an epic camera you can use in the shipbuilding thing. Well,
it,
what you can like make time lapses.
oh, that would be handy. I would totally use that.
Like, and then you see just the star moving in the background and dust.
Yeah,
Would be like an art
man.
time lapse.
Walking out onto like this observation deck, if it
Oh,
were encased in glass, just walking out like this and like
imagine
standing
it
right
being
here.
360 glass.
Like, and you
Yes.
could go up here and then this is all glass.
I mean, they would need to redo the glass,
Yeah.
honestly.
There's definitely going to be an observation.
Or you could have like with the bump to the hallway on top, you could have like an exit, like right there. Yeah,
Like right here.
yeah,
It's the perfect
like an
height
outdoor.
too.
Yeah,
Like I could just put a door in.
yeah, like, and just you know,
Ah. Yeah, a
with
door
this
could go
run
there.
for
Nice and easy.
yeah, nice and easy. Oh, nice.
Hmm. Yeah. I think I'm gonna delete these though. I don't need these anymore. Ah, thank you.
Yes, yes.
I wonder who La Lumex is. It's
Yes,
almost.
yes.
Ah,
I don't know.
Lumix, I
Now
hardly
make
know
now make me moderator. Yes.
him. Just like bans the entirety of chat. Come on. Tempt me.
I'm the only one.
I'm the only one who can watch the streams.
Because I have no hobbies. Oh.
So I think I'll connect more of this up here. I'll just do a bit of this real quick. I'll finish up the this like bottom kind of round bit, and then I'll call the stream there because it's at a 2.5 hours. So except this needs to be rotated. Yep, right there. We're gonna do a couple connections like that. I don't know why I'm not getting like the sounds anymore. All the sounds, but I like that. I don't know. Dun, 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 dun. And we'll do that over here as well, just to provide a really solid connection point. Because this will be where everything terminates. And it's off by a little bit, isn't it? It is. Well, I mean, I'm gonna put, what, maybe a 24. Yeah. We'll put this in, and we'll see if auto bolt chooses or not to bolt. To bolt or not to bolt? That is the question. Okay, the answer is to not. If I put it over here, will it bolt? I doubt it'll change anything, but if I don't have to do it manually. Okay, it doesn't change anything. Um, hmm, I'll figure that out later. That'll just be something to... So we'll add in that. We'll add in this. Da, da, da. And we'll see if like putting that right there. Okay, it's not liking the snap, so I'm gonna snap it like this. You know, that'll work. We can put plating over that and it'll be fine. Unless I move it back, like there. Okay, that works even better, actually. So I'm gonna do that. So right there, and then we'll do... Does this fit back here? No, I can probably just go with a 192 is too big, definitely. So we'll go with 296s. We'll see if that fits in just right. Come on, come on, come on. You know you want to. There we go. And then because the 96 doesn't look like it'll fit, because it won't, we will take out that because that won't fit either. So we'll need a 36. And I think a 48. No, maybe another 36. That would work. That would If it may not line up exactly either. No, it doesn't. Why could that be? Because it lines up here with a 96 and a 48. It's connected like that on both sides. Um, yeah, I don't know about that. Because the 48 didn't fit, I don't think. My memory is failing, so we're gonna... Yeah, 48 doesn't fit. Hmm. Okay, well that'll just be another thing that I can bolt later, in an awkward fashion. But so I'm gonna call it there for today. So thank you all for tuning in, and if you missed any portion, you can watch the rest on YouTube. I'll be uploading the rest of this later on. So if you want to see more of this, I'd ask that you follow me and subscribe on YouTube. And so I guess have a good rest of your day.